Hello everyone and welcome back to Native Flow English, the place where stories come alive and where learning English feels as natural as conversation. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and join us on this journey of language, culture and discovery. Today I want to take you somewhere far away, but here's the twist, I won't tell you the name of the country, instead I'll describe it for you. Your challenge is to listen closely, enjoy the story, and try to guess the place I'm talking about. So let's begin. Imagine a place where mountains do not simply rise, they stand guard, where their snowy crowns gleam under the sun like ancient kings wrapped in silver. Here, valleys lie cradled between giants, stitched together with emerald meadows and sapphire lakes that seem too perfect to be real. The air tastes fresher than anywhere you've been, crisp, almost sweet, as if the wind has travelled straight from the clouds to greet you. In this land, time feels different. Villages look like something out of a fairy tale, wooden chalets with sloping roofs, their balconies dripping with red geraniums, standing quietly beside narrow cobblestone lanes. In the early mornings, cowbells echo softly from hillsides as farmers guide their herds through misty pastures. And when night falls, the stars gather so close you feel you could almost reach up and touch them. But this country is not only about its beauty, it is also about precision. Here the trains glide into stations exactly when the clock strikes, not a minute early, not a second late. And speaking of clocks, they are not just tools for telling time here, they are masterpieces. Entire towns are dedicated to crafting watches so perfect that they are passed down like treasures from one generation to the next. And yet, for all its order, there is adventure. Jagged peaks invite climbers to test their limits, glaciers whisper their secrets to explorers, and narrow trails wind through valleys where waterfalls tumble like ribbons of glass. In winter, the mountains transform into playgrounds of powdery snow, drawing skiers from every corner of the globe. The people here speak more than one language, in fact, 4. As you travel from one corner to another, the conversations change from the lilting romance of one tongue to the rhythmic precision of another. It's like stepping through invisible borders without ever leaving the country. And then there is the food. Imagine dipping warm bread into a bubbling pot of melted cheese, the rich aroma filling the room as friends gather around the table. Picture breaking into a chocolate bar so smooth and velvety that it melts before it even touches your tongue. A creation perfected here for centuries. History runs deep in these valleys. This land has remained untouched by wars that swept across its neighbours. Its people value peace so much that they have made it part of their identity, so much so that the symbol of neutrality is known worldwide. Yet, behind that peacefulness lies strength, a quiet determination carved into every mountain ridge. From the mirror-like waters of turquoise lakes to the rhythmic ticking of centuries-old clock towers, from the scent of fresh alpine air to the sight of snow-capped horizons. Everything here feels almost impossibly beautiful. Travellers leave with photos, yes, but more importantly, with a feeling they can't quite name. A feeling of having stepped into a postcard that was somehow real. This land is small, but it is mighty, a crossroads of cultures, a sanctuary of nature, a guardian of peace. Some know it for its mountains, others for its chocolate, and still others for the sound of a single alpenhorn echoing across a valley at dusk. You've probably guessed by now, but before you answer, imagine just one more thing. You are standing on a mountaintop, 3,000 meters above sea level. Below you, the world spreads out like a painted map. Lakes gleaming like pieces of sky, villages tucked into folds of green, and far away, the silhouettes of mountains you haven't climbed yet. You take a deep breath. The air is cold, clean, perfect. And for a moment, you know, you're in a place unlike anywhere else on Earth. What country could this be? Tell me your answer down in the comments. And if you've already visited this country, feel free to share your experiences with us and with the community here on the channel. I'll give a heart to the comments that guess correctly. And now, let's get back to today's lesson with our lovely teacher.
Hello everyone, and I am so happy you are here today. If this is your first time listening to our channel, we are all about helping you improve your English every day. On this channel, we upload new videos that help you practice listening, speaking, and understanding English naturally. Today we will talk about a very important topic: overpopulation and its problems. This is a topic that affects everyone, and I will share stories and examples to make it easier to understand. Let's start with a simple question. Have you ever wondered why some cities are always so crowded? For example, my friend Daniel lives in Dhaka. He told me that every morning it takes him more than an hour to get to work because the streets are full of cars, buses, and motorcycles. He said, "Natasha, sometimes I feel like the city is never empty." This is a real-life example of overpopulation. Overpopulation happens when the number of people living in a place is higher than the resources that place can provide. These resources include water, food, houses, schools, and hospitals. Let me give you an example. My neighbor, Mr. Thompson, told me that when he was young, his village had only 1,000 people. Now the same village has more than 5,000 people, but the number of schools and hospitals has not increased. Because of this, children have to wait a long time to get education, and people cannot get medical help quickly. Overpopulation also causes traffic problems. Let me tell you a story. My cousin Sarah lives in Mumbai. She says that every day, buses and trains are so full that people have to stand for hours. She explained, "Natasha, sometimes it is impossible to sit, and it is very uncomfortable, especially in hot weather, because more people are using the same roads and transport systems. Traffic becomes slow, accidents increase, and commuting becomes very stressful." Another serious problem is pollution. When there are too many people in one place, more cars, factories, and buildings are created. This produces a lot of air and water pollution. For example, my husband John and I visited Beijing last year. He said, "Natasha, the air here is very hard to breathe. People wear masks even in their homes sometimes." This is because overpopulation increases pollution, and it directly affects our health. Overpopulation also makes housing more expensive. Let me give an example from my friend Alex. He lives in London. He said, "Natasha, rent is very high because many people want to live in the city, but houses are limited." This is another challenge that cities face. When the population grows too fast, not everyone can have a home, and many people live in small or crowded spaces. Food and water can also become scarce. I remember talking to my friend Emily, who lives in Cairo. She said, "Sometimes it is hard to buy fresh vegetables because the demand is too high." This shows how overpopulation can make basic things like food and water harder to get. Education and jobs are affected too. When there are too many people, schools and universities cannot take all students, and not everyone can get a good job. My friend Michael said, "Natasha, I had to wait 2 years before I could get a university seat." This is because more people need education and jobs than the system can provide. Now you might ask, "Natasha, what can we do about overpopulation?" It is not easy, but there are some solutions. Governments can plan better cities, provide more schools and hospitals, and control pollution. Families can also plan their children's number carefully to make sure everyone has enough resources. For example, my husband and I decided to have only 2 children because we want to give them a good life and education. Another example is public transport. Cities can build more buses, trains, and roads to reduce traffic problems. Recycling and clean energy can also reduce pollution caused by more people. My friend Lisa lives in Tokyo. She told me, "Natasha, the city uses many electric buses and encourages recycling, and this really helps the environment." Overpopulation is a big problem, but if people and governments work together, it can be managed. Small actions like saving water, reducing waste, and using public transport can make a difference. We all have a role to play in making our cities cleaner, safer, and more comfortable to live in. So today, we learned that overpopulation affects traffic, pollution, housing, food, water, education, and jobs. We also learned that planning, public transport, and personal responsibility are important solutions. Next time you see a crowded street or a long line, you will understand that this is part of the overpopulation problem. One problem caused by overpopulation is the lack of clean drinking water. My friend David lives in Lagos. He told me, "Natasha, sometimes we have to wait hours in line to get clean water. Pipes are old, and the water supply cannot meet the needs of everyone." This happens in many crowded cities. When too many people live in one place, the water system becomes overloaded. People may have to use water from unsafe sources, and this can cause diseases. Health problems are another issue. My neighbor, Mrs. Harris, is a doctor. She explained that in very crowded hospitals, patients cannot get quick attention. She said, "Natasha, sometimes we have 10 patients for every available doctor. It is very difficult to give good care to everyone." Overpopulation puts pressure on hospitals, clinics, and doctors. This makes it harder for people to stay healthy, especially older people and children. Food waste is also a hidden problem. My cousin Peter works in a large restaurant in Cairo. He said, "We get a lot of food every day, but sometimes it goes bad because there are too many people and not enough storage." Overpopulation increases the need for food, but not all food is used properly. Wasting food means less food is available for people who really need it. Overpopulation can also increase stress in daily life. My friend Rachel lives in New York. She said, "I feel stressed every day because of noise, traffic, and crowded places." When cities have too many people, life can feel very busy and overwhelming. Noise, crowds, and long waiting times at stores or banks can affect mental health. People may feel tired, anxious, or frustrated more often than in smaller towns. Public transport becomes a big challenge too. My friend Tom lives in Jakarta. He told me, "Trains are always full and buses are delayed. It takes hours to travel, short distances." Overpopulation means more people use the same transport systems. Cities need more buses, trains, and roads. Without proper transport, people waste time, energy, and money every day. Education is affected in different ways. My friend Lucy is a school teacher in Mumbai. She said, "Sometimes I have 50 students in one classroom. It is hard to give attention to everyone." Overpopulation makes classrooms crowded. Teachers cannot give individual help to students, and learning becomes slower. This affects the future of young people because they may not get a strong education. Another problem is unemployment. My friend Mark lives in Manila. He said, "Many young people cannot find jobs because there are too many people and not enough work." Overpopulation creates competition for jobs. People may have to work for lower salaries, or some may not find jobs at all. This can lead to poverty and social problems. Overpopulation also affects the environment. My friend Anna lives near a river in Bangkok. She told me, "The river is polluted because so many people live here. Waste from homes and factories goes into the water. More people produce more garbage, and cities may not have systems to clean it. This can damage rivers, lakes, and forests. Animals lose their homes, and nature suffers." Housing shortages are another serious issue. My friend James lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, "Many families live in small houses with poor conditions. Some people even live on the streets. When cities have too many people, there are not enough homes for everyone. This makes housing expensive, and many people live in crowded or unsafe places. Social problems can increase as well." My friend Sarah lives in Cairo. She said, "In crowded areas, fights and arguments are more common. People feel stressed and angry more easily. Overpopulation can make communities less peaceful. Noise, competition for resources, and crowded spaces can lead to disagreements. Transportation accidents become more common too." My friend Paul works in road safety in Mumbai. He said, "More cars and motorcycles cause more accidents every year. Emergency services cannot help everyone quickly. Overpopulation puts pressure on roads, traffic systems, and hospitals. More people traveling together means more chances for accidents." Electricity and energy shortages are also serious. My friend Helen lives in Lagos. She said, "Sometimes the electricity goes off for hours. There are too many people using power at the same time. When cities grow quickly, power supply may not be enough. People may face blackouts, which affect homes, offices, and hospitals. Waste management is another challenge. My friend Jack works in the city cleaning department in Dhaka. He said, "Every day we collect tons of garbage. Sometimes it is impossible to clean everything. More people mean more trash. If waste is not managed properly, it can block streets, pollute water, and create health problems. Overpopulation also affects public spaces." My friend Emma lives in London. She said, "Parks and playgrounds are always full. Sometimes children cannot play because there are too many people. When cities are crowded, there is less space for recreation. Public areas become busy and noisy, and people have less chance to relax. Food supply chains are another problem. My friend Robert works in a grocery store in New York. He said, "When there are too many people, some products run out very quickly. Shelves are empty before everyone can buy food. Overpopulation increases. Demand and stores cannot always supply enough. This can cause hunger and frustration. Overpopulation affects transportation costs too." My friend Olivia lives in Jakarta. She said, "Because buses and taxis are always full, people pay more to travel quickly. When cities are crowded, transport becomes slower and more expensive. This affects daily life and household budgets. Air pollution is one of the biggest health risks. My friend Michael lives in Beijing. He said, "Sometimes it is hard to breathe outside because of the smoke and dust. More people mean more vehicles, factories, and construction. The air quality drops and people get sick more often. Noise pollution is also a concern." My friend Laura lives in New York. She said, "The streets are very loud. It is hard to sleep sometimes." Overpopulation makes cities noisier. Constant traffic, construction, and crowds affect people's mental and physical health. Public services are stretched too. My friend Henry works in the city council in Manila. He said, "We have more requests than we can manage. People wait a long time for simple services. Overpopulation puts pressure on government services, like issuing documents, healthcare, and public safety. Food prices rise as well." My friend Sophia lives in Cairo. She said, "Vegetables and fruits cost more because demand is high. More people need food, so prices increase. Families have to spend more money on daily needs. Overpopulation can also lead to deforestation." My friend Daniel lives near a forest in Brazil. He said, trees are being cut down to build houses. Animals have no place to live. Cities need more land for homes, schools, and roads. This causes destruction of nature and loss of animal habitats. Finally, overpopulation affects the quality of life. My friend Alice lives in Mumbai. She said, life is fast, noisy, and stressful. Sometimes I feel tired before the day ends. When too many people live in one area, life becomes harder. Crowded streets, pollution, and limited resources affect everyone's daily comfort. One challenge caused by a high number of people in a city is the strain on public transportation schedules. My friend Kevin lives in Manila. He explained, buses and trains often do not run on time because so many people are using them. Sometimes I have to wait for more than an hour to get home from work. This makes daily life harder and increases stress for everyone traveling. Overpopulation can also make parking very difficult. My friend Rachel lives in Los Angeles. She said, finding a parking spot takes a long time, and sometimes I have to park very far from my home or office. More people means more cars and fewer spaces. This adds extra time and frustration to everyday activities. Energy consumption is another problem. My friend Mark lives in Cairo. He said, we use more electricity because so many people need power for lights, air conditioning, and cooking. Sometimes the system cannot provide enough electricity, and there are outages. When too many people use energy at the same time, it creates shortages and affects homes, businesses, and schools. Overpopulation increases stress on emergency services. My friend Emily is a nurse in New York. She said, when there are too many patients, it is hard to help everyone quickly. Ambulances take longer to reach people in need. Crowded cities need more hospitals, more doctors, and more emergency staff. Otherwise, life-saving services can be delayed. Public hygiene can be affected as well. My friend Thomas lives in Delhi. He explained, sometimes garbage is not collected on time because there are too many people producing trash. This makes the streets dirty and unhealthy. Overpopulation creates more waste than the city can manage, which increases the risk of diseases. Schools face many difficulties too. My friend Lucy is a teacher in Jakarta. She said, in some classes, there are more than 50 students. It is hard to give personal attention to each student. More students in schools make teaching challenging. When teachers cannot help every child, learning becomes slower and some students may fall behind. Jobs are limited when cities grow too fast. My friend Peter lives in Manila. He explained, there are many people looking for work, but companies cannot hire everyone. Some people have to work part-time or take low-paying jobs. High competition for jobs can increase unemployment and make life harder for families. Traffic accidents are more frequent in crowded cities. My friend Anna works in road safety in Rio de Janeiro. She said, because so many vehicles are on the road, accidents happen every day. Police cannot control all traffic at once. More cars, buses, and motorcycles create a higher risk for accidents, injuries, and delays. Shortages of medical supplies happen too. My friend David works in a pharmacy in Lagos. He explained, sometimes we do not have enough medicines because so many people need them at the same time. Hospitals and pharmacies struggle to supply the correct medicine to everyone when the population grows too quickly. Overpopulation can cause water pollution. My friend Sophia lives in Bangkok. She said, wastewater from homes and factories goes into rivers. the water is not clean anymore, and people cannot use it safely. More people means more waste, which can harm the environment and make water unsafe for drinking or bathing. Public transport costs can rise as well. My friend Michael lives in Mumbai. He said, because buses are crowded and trains are full, companies increase ticket prices. People spend more money every day just to travel. Overpopulation forces transport systems to work harder, and this can make commuting more expensive. Food delivery and stores face pressure too. My friend Olivia works in a grocery store in London. She explained, when many people buy at the same time, shelves are empty quickly. Some people cannot buy what they need. Overpopulation increases demand for products, and stores may not always supply enough for everyone. Noise pollution affects daily life. My friend Henry lives in New York. He said, construction, traffic, and crowded streets make it very noisy. It is hard to relax at home. Overpopulation increases noise from many sources, which can affect concentration, sleep, and mental health. Limited green spaces are another issue. My friend Laura lives in Tokyo. She explained, parks are crowded, children cannot play freely, and people cannot relax outside. Cities with too many people have less open space, which reduces opportunities for exercise, relaxation, and fresh air. Wastewater systems are overloaded too. My friend Jack lives in Jakarta. He said, sewage pipes sometimes overflow because too many homes are connected. This creates bad smells and health hazards. When many people live in one place, infrastructure may not keep up, and public health can suffer. Overpopulation can increase crime rates in some areas. My friend Emma lives in Cairo. She explained, crowded neighborhoods sometimes have more theft and arguments because people are stressed and resources are limited. High population density can lead to social tension and safety concerns. Energy shortages affect daily life too. My friend Robert lives in Lagos. He said, during hot days, electricity goes off because many people are using fans and air conditioners at the same time. Overpopulation increases demand for energy, and when systems cannot cope, daily life becomes uncomfortable. Traffic jams affect businesses. My friend Alice lives in Manila. She explained, delivery trucks are late because of traffic. Shops cannot get supplies on time. Overpopulation slows down transport, which affects work, business, and the economy. Housing problems get worse with more people. My friend Daniel lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, many people live in small rooms. Some families share one bathroom. Life is difficult in crowded homes. Overpopulation increases demand for housing, which forces people to live in tight or unsafe conditions. Public service staff are overloaded. My friend Helen works in the city council in New York. She explained, there are more requests than we can handle. People wait a long time for help with simple problems. Overpopulation stretches government services, affecting efficiency and public satisfaction. Pollution affects rivers and seas. My friend Paul lives near a river in Bangkok. He said, garbage and waste go into the water, fish die, and people cannot use the river safely. Overpopulation increases waste, harming the environment and reducing natural resources for everyone. Job competition increases stress. My friend Sarah lives in Manila. She said, many people are applying for the same job. I feel nervous every time I send my resume. Overpopulation makes work life more competitive, and people may spend longer looking for stable employment. Schools face shortage of teachers too. My friend Kevin is a principal in Jakarta. He explained, "There are not enough teachers for the number of students. Classes are overcrowded. Overpopulation makes education less effective because schools cannot hire enough qualified staff. Electricity bills rise with population growth." My friend Rachel said, "We spend more money because everyone uses more electricity. It is expensive for families. More people need energy, which increases costs and can affect family budgets." Traffic accidents affect families. My friend David said, "My neighbor's son was injured in a car accident because the streets are always full." Overpopulation leads to more vehicles, more accidents, and more stress for families. Air quality decreases in crowded cities. My friend Michael explained, "It is hard to breathe outside. Pollution makes people sick more often." Overpopulation increases vehicles and factories, which release smoke, dust, and harmful chemicals. Publix. Health problems are more common. My friend Olivia said, "Diseases spread quickly because so many people live close together. Crowded conditions make it easier for infections to spread, affecting everyone in the community. Parks and playgrounds are limited." My friend Henry said, "Children have less space to play. Adults cannot exercise freely." Overpopulation reduces opportunities for outdoor activities, which affects health and well-being. Garbage management is difficult. My friend Emma said, "Waste piles up on streets because cleaning services cannot keep up. More people produce more waste, creating hygiene problems and unpleasant environments. Overpopulation can make emergency evacuations difficult." My friend Peter lives in Jakarta. He explained, "During heavy floods, it takes a long time for people to leave their homes because the streets are too crowded. When there are too many people in one area, emergency plans are harder to execute, and more lives are at risk. Air conditioning and heating systems often struggle in crowded buildings." My friend Lucy lives in Cairo. She said, "In some apartment buildings, the air conditioning does not work properly because too many people are using it at the same time." Overpopulation puts pressure on utilities and infrastructure, making life uncomfortable for residents. Sanitation is a major concern. My friend David lives in Lagos. He explained, "Public toilets are often full and not clean because so many people need them every day. When too many people use the same facilities, hygiene problems increase, and diseases can spread more easily. Internet and communication networks can also become slow." My friend Sarah lives in New York. She said, "Sometimes the internet is very slow because many people are using it at the same time. Overpopulation increases demand for technology and network resources, which can reduce the efficiency of online work and learning. Food markets experience overcrowding. My friend Michael lives in Mumbai. He explained, "Shops are so crowded that it is difficult to move and choose fresh food. High population density makes shopping stressful and slows down daily activities. Air travel becomes more expensive." My friend Olivia lives in London. She said, "Flight tickets are more expensive because airports are busy and airlines cannot meet all the demand. Overpopulation increases travel demand, and transportation services must adjust prices, affecting budgets. Public parks and recreation areas become limited." My friend Anna lives in Tokyo. She explained, "It is hard to find space to walk, run, or play sports because too many people use the parks. Overpopulation reduces access to spaces where People can relax, exercise, and enjoy nature. Medical appointments take longer to get. My friend Jack lives in Manila. He said, it can take months to see a doctor because there are too many patients waiting. Overpopulation creates long queues for medical services, affecting health and well-being. Urban planning becomes more difficult. My friend Laura lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, it is hard to build new roads and houses quickly because there are already so many people living in the city. City planners must carefully balance housing, roads, schools, and hospitals when populations grow fast. Noise in schools affects learning. My friend Kevin is a teacher in Jakarta. He said, classrooms near busy streets are noisy. Students find it hard to concentrate. Overpopulation often increases traffic and construction noise, which impacts education and focus. Public transportation maintenance becomes harder. My friend Rachel lives in New York. She said, trains and buses break down often because so many people use them every day. Overcrowded systems need more frequent maintenance, otherwise services become unreliable. Energy shortages can affect hospitals. My friend Paul lives in Cairo. He explained, sometimes hospitals do not have enough electricity for machines because the power system is overloaded. Overpopulation increases the need for energy, which can be critical in health services. Food storage becomes a challenge. My friend Emily works in a grocery store in London. She said, we cannot keep enough fresh food because so many people buy at the same time. More people means higher demand for storage space and faster supply chains. Traffic rules are harder to enforce. My friend Mark works in road safety in Manila. He said, because there are so many vehicles, some drivers do not follow rules, and accidents happen more often. Overpopulation makes traffic management more complex and increases risks. Childcare services are in short supply. My friend Lucy lives in Lagos. She explained, there are not enough daycare centers and families have to wait months to get a place for their children. Overpopulation creates competition for essential services for children. Waste disposal becomes expensive. My friend Robert lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, the city has to spend more money to collect and manage garbage because there are more people producing waste. Overpopulation increases costs for municipal services and affects the city budget. Road maintenance is slower. My friend Alice lives in New York. She explained, potholes and damaged roads take longer to fix because there are more streets and more traffic. Overpopulation makes infrastructure maintenance more difficult and slower. Public water systems are stressed. My friend Daniel lives in Jakarta. He said, sometimes water pressure is low because many homes are using water at the same time. Overpopulation increases demand for water, and distribution systems can struggle to keep up. Recreational activities are crowded. My friend Sarah lives in Tokyo. She said, swimming pools and gyms are always full. It is hard to find a free spot. Overpopulation reduces opportunities for exercise and relaxation in public places. Public libraries and study areas become crowded. My friend Kevin lives in London. He said, sometimes I cannot find a quiet place to study because many students are using the library. Overpopulation affects spaces where people go to learn and read. Housing prices rise quickly. My friend Olivia lives in Cairo. She explained, rent is very high because so many people want to live in the city, but there are limited apartments. Overpopulation increases demand for housing, which makes it more expensive for families. Healthcare. Costs increase. My friend David said, Because hospitals are crowded, doctors charge more for private services. Overpopulation forces people to spend more money to access medical care quickly. Traffic congestion affects delivery services. My friend Laura said, packages are often late because trucks cannot move quickly in traffic. Overpopulation slows down transport and delivery, affecting businesses and families. Street safety decreases. My friend Michael lives in Mumbai. He explained, crowded streets make it hard for police to monitor everyone. Theft and accidents happen more often. Overpopulation increases challenges for public safety and law enforcement. Electricity demand grows fast. My friend Emily said, during hot seasons, everyone uses fans and air conditioning. Sometimes electricity goes off. More people create higher demand, which can cause frequent blackouts. Pollution affects rivers and lakes. My friend Robert lives near a lake in Rio de Janeiro. He said, waste from homes and factories makes the water dirty. People cannot swim or use it safely. Overpopulation increases pollution, affecting both humans and nature. Noise pollution affects sleep. My friend Anna explained, in crowded neighborhoods, people cannot sleep well because streets are always noisy. Overpopulation creates stressful living conditions due to noise from traffic, construction, and crowds. Public services struggle with paperwork. My friend Jack said, it takes a long time to get permits or documents because too many people need them. Overpopulation creates backlogs. In government offices, affecting efficiency, parks and playgrounds are overcrowded. My friend Mark said, children have less space to play. Adults cannot relax outside. Overpopulation reduces access to outdoor areas for recreation and exercise. Food supply becomes unpredictable. My friend Alice said, sometimes fresh vegetables and fruits are not available because many people buy them quickly. Overpopulation creates high demand, which can cause shortages and increase prices. Overpopulation makes it hard to maintain clean streets. My friend Daniel lives in Manila. He explained, sometimes the streets are dirty for days because cleaning teams cannot keep up with so many people. When more people live in a city, maintaining public cleanliness becomes very challenging. Parks become less safe for children. My friend Emily lives in London. She said, with so many people around, parents worry about their children playing outside. Overpopulation reduces the ability to monitor public spaces effectively, creating safety concerns. Public hospitals face shortages of beds. My friend Jack works in Cairo. He explained, during flu season, we do not have enough beds for patients, and some have to wait on the floor. Overpopulation stretches hospital resources, making it hard to treat everyone comfortably. Electricity. Systems are under stress. My friend Lucy lives in Tokyo. She said, sometimes power goes off in the evening because too many people are using electricity at once. Overpopulation increases energy demand, causing frequent blackouts and inconvenience. Overcrowded schools reduce learning opportunities. My friend Peter is a teacher in Mumbai. He explained, with 50 students in one class, it is impossible to give attention to everyone. Overpopulation affects the quality of education, making it difficult for students to learn effectively. Public transport delays affect daily routines. My friend Rachel lives in Lagos. She said, buses and trains are often late and it makes it hard to reach work on time. Overpopulation increases pressure on transport systems, causing delays and frustration. Water pipelines break frequently. My friend Michael lives in Rio de Janeiro. He explained, old pipes cannot handle so many homes connected at once, and water leaks everywhere. Overpopulation stresses water infrastructure, creating problems for residents. Traffic congestion increases. Travel time. My friend Olivia lives in New York. She said, it takes me twice as long to go to work because the roads are always crowded. Overpopulation slows daily life, making commuting longer and more tiring. Public toilets are often closed or unusable. My friend David lives in Jakarta. He explained, sometimes there is no toilet paper or water because so many people use them. Overpopulation creates sanitation challenges in public facilities. Food shortages can occur in busy areas. My friend Anna lives in Cairo. She said, fresh vegetables and meat are not always available because so many people buy them quickly. Overpopulation increases demand, making food supply unpredictable. Noise pollution affects everyone. My friend Henry lives in London. He explained, construction, traffic, and crowded streets make it hard to concentrate or sleep. Overpopulation increases urban noise, affecting mental and physical health. Parks and recreational areas are limited. My friend Laura lives in Tokyo. She said, it is difficult to find space to exercise because so many people are visiting the park. Overpopulation reduces access to outdoor spaces for physical activity. Public libraries and study rooms are crowded. My friend Kevin lives in New York. He explained, students have to wait for hours to find a quiet place to read or study. Overpopulation affects access to learning spaces and resources. Traffic accidents happen more often. My friend Sarah lives in Rio de Janeiro. She said, because the streets are crowded, minor accidents occur every day. Overpopulation increases risk on the roads, making travel more dangerous. Housing shortages make families live in small spaces. My friend Robert lives in Manila. He explained, many families share a small apartment because there are not enough homes. Overpopulation increases the demand for housing, forcing families to live in tighter conditions. Healthcare costs rise. My friend Alice lives in London. She said, private clinics charge more because public hospitals are full. Overpopulation increases pressure on medical services, making treatment more expensive. Public transport becomes uncomfortable. My friend Daniel explained, standing for hours in a packed bus or train is exhausting. Overpopulation puts stress on transportation, affecting the daily life of commuters. Electricity outages affect work. My friend Emily said, shops and offices cannot operate properly when the power goes off because everyone is using electricity. Overpopulation increases energy demand, impacting businesses and homes. Waste collection becomes slower. My friend Jack lives in Cairo. He explained, trash piles up because cleaning teams cannot manage all the waste every day. Overpopulation increases the volume of garbage, making cities harder to maintain. Water quality deteriorates. My friend Lucy lives near a river in Tokyo. She said, waste from homes and factories pollutes the water, making it unsafe to drink or cook. Overpopulation increases environmental stress, affecting water safety. Public schools cannot enroll all children immediately. My friend Peter explained, some children have to wait a year before they can start school because classes are full. Overpopulation reduces educational opportunities and delays learning. Traffic congestion reduces productivity. My friend Rachel lives in New York. She said, People spend hours in traffic instead of working or resting. Overpopulation slows down daily life and affects efficiency. Street safety decreases. My friend Michael lives in Rio de Janeiro. He explained, crowded streets are harder to monitor, and thefts and accidents happen more often. Overpopulation increases social risks and challenges for law enforcement. Public parks and playgrounds are overcrowded. My friend Olivia said, children cannot play freely and adults have no space to relax or exercise. Overpopulation reduces access to outdoor activities. Food supply chains struggle. My friend David explained, sometimes stores run out of products because so many people buy them quickly. Overpopulation creates high demand, making availability unpredictable. Urban roads deteriorate faster. My friend Anna lives in Manila. She said potholes and broken streets appear more often because of heavy traffic and many vehicles. Overpopulation increases wear and tear on infrastructure. Public transport maintenance is difficult. My friend Henry explained, trains and buses break down more often because they are used by too many people. Overpopulation increases stress on transport systems and raises maintenance costs. Healthcare services are slow. My friend Laura lives in Cairo. She said, patients have to wait a long time to see a doctor because hospitals are crowded. Overpopulation affects access to timely medical care. Noise from vehicles and construction affects sleep. My friend Kevin said, it is hard to rest at home because streets are very noisy. Overpopulation increases stress and affects mental health. Electricity demand rises quickly. My friend Sarah explained, many homes using electricity at the same time cause blackouts. Overpopulation puts pressure on energy systems, causing inconvenience for residents. Water pressure drops in busy neighborhoods. My friend Robert said, some apartments get very little water because too many homes share the pipes. Overpopulation stresses water supply systems, affecting daily life. Traffic jams affect deliveries. My friend Alice explained, packages arrive late because trucks cannot move quickly in crowded streets. Overpopulation slows business operations and affects efficiency. Recreational facilities cannot serve everyone. My friend Daniel said, swimming, pools and gyms are full, and people cannot use them freely. Overpopulation reduces opportunities for exercise and leisure. Medical supply shortages occur. My friend Emily explained, pharmacies sometimes run out of essential medicines because so many people need them at the same time. Overpopulation increases demand for health products, creating scarcity. Public spaces are crowded. My friend Jack said, it is difficult to find a quiet place to walk or relax because so many people are outside. Overpopulation limits opportunities for rest and outdoor activity. Healthcare systems face heavy pressure. My friend Daniel works as a nurse in Manila. He said, sometimes we have too many patients, and it is hard to give care to everyone on time. When cities have a high population, hospitals and clinics struggle to serve all patients efficiently, which can affect recovery and health outcomes. Public transport overcrowding is stressful. My friend Emily lives in London. She explained, trains are so full that people cannot sit or move easily. Standing for a long time is exhausting. Overpopulation increases the number of commuters, making travel uncomfortable and tiring every day. Water shortages can happen suddenly. My friend Jack lives in Cairo. He said, some neighborhoods do not get water for several hours because the Supply cannot meet the demand. When too many people use water simultaneously, it creates pressure on pipes and reservoirs, making access unreliable. Schools cannot enroll all children immediately. My friend Lucy, a teacher in Jakarta, said, "We have more students than seats, so some children have to wait a year to start school." Overpopulation affects education systems, limiting opportunities for children and slowing academic progress. Traffic rules are harder to enforce. My friend Peter works in road safety in New York. He explained, "With so many cars and motorcycles, it is difficult to control traffic. Some drivers break rules, and accidents happen often. Overpopulation increases the complexity of managing roads and safety for everyone. Public libraries are crowded." My friend Rachel lives in Tokyo. She said, "It is difficult to find a quiet place to read or study because so many students are using the library." Overpopulation affects access to learning, resources, and quiet study areas. Electricity demand grows faster than supply. My friend Michael lives in Lagos. He explained, "During hot weather, everyone uses fans and air conditioning, and sometimes electricity goes off. Overpopulation can create blackouts, affecting homes, schools, and businesses. Public parks have less space." My friend Olivia lives in Rio de Janeiro. She said, "It is hard to find a spot to sit or exercise because so many people are visiting the park." Overpopulation reduces access to recreational areas, affecting physical and mental health. Medical supply chains are overloaded. My friend David works in a pharmacy in Manila. He explained, "Sometimes we run out of medicines because so many people need them at the same time. Overpopulation increases demand for healthcare products, making it harder to keep stores stocked. Waste management is challenging. My friend Anna works in the city cleaning department in London. She said, "It is difficult to collect all the garbage every day because so much is produced." Overpopulation increases the amount of trash, making cities harder to keep clean. Noise levels increase. My friend Henry lives in New York. He explained, "Construction, traffic, and crowded streets make the city noisy. It is difficult to relax at home." Overpopulation makes urban areas loud, affecting concentration and mental well-being. Food delivery services face delays. My friend Laura lives in Cairo. She said, "Because so many people order food, deliveries take longer, and some items are missing. Overpopulation slows down supply chains and makes services less reliable. Emergency evacuation becomes slower." My friend Kevin lives in Manila. He explained, "During floods or storms, crowded streets make it difficult to move quickly. Many people are at risk." Overpopulation complicates emergency planning and reduces safety. Housing becomes more expensive. My friend Sarah lives in London. She said, "Rent is very high because so many people want to live in the city, but there are limited homes." Overpopulation increases demand for housing, making it harder for families to find affordable places. Traffic congestion reduces productivity. My friend Robert lives in Tokyo. He explained, "Employees spend hours in traffic, which reduces the time they can work or rest." Overpopulation slows down daily life, affecting work efficiency and personal time. Public toilets are overused. My friend Alice lives in Lagos. She said, "Sometimes there is no soap or water because so many people are using the facilities." Overpopulation creates hygiene problems and discomfort in public areas. Urban planning becomes complex. My friend Daniel lives in Rio de Janeiro. He explained, building new roads, schools, and hospitals is difficult because so many people already live in the city. Overpopulation requires careful planning and more investment to ensure the city functions well. Childcare services are limited. My friend Emily said, many families cannot find a daycare spot because the centers are full. Overpopulation increases demand for childcare, making it hard for parents to find care for their children. Water quality decreases. My friend Jack lives near a river in Cairo. He explained, rivers are polluted because of too much waste from homes and factories. People cannot use the water safely. Overpopulation increases waste production, harming the environment and health. Public buses and trains break down faster. My friend Lucy said, with so many passengers, vehicles wear out quickly and need frequent repairs. Overpopulation creates heavy pressure on transport infrastructure, increasing maintenance costs. Healthcare costs rise. My friend Peter explained, private hospitals charge more because public services are crowded. Overpopulation increases demand, forcing people to pay more for faster or better treatment. Street safety becomes a concern. My friend Rachel said, crowded streets make it hard for police to monitor traffic and prevent crimes. Overpopulation increases risks for accidents and theft in busy neighborhoods. Recreational facilities are crowded. My friend Michael lives in New York. He explained, gyms and swimming pools are always full, and sometimes you cannot enter. Overpopulation reduces access to sports and leisure activities. Electricity outages affect businesses. My friend Olivia said, shops and offices cannot work efficiently when power goes off because too many people are using electricity. Overpopulation increases the pressure on energy systems, affecting the economy. Food scarcity happens in busy markets. My friend David explained, fresh vegetables and meat are sometimes unavailable because too many people buy them quickly. Overpopulation increases demand and can cause shortages in food supply. Urban streets are harder to clean. My friend Anna said, garbage piles up because cleaning teams cannot collect it all. Overpopulation increases the workload for public sanitation services. Public safety is harder to maintain. My friend Henry said, crowded areas have more arguments, accidents, and theft because of high population density. Overpopulation can make neighborhoods less peaceful and more dangerous. Education quality decreases. My friend Laura explained, teachers cannot give personal attention to each student in overcrowded classrooms. Overpopulation affects learning outcomes for children and young adults. Housing space becomes limited. My friend Kevin said, families often live in small apartments because larger homes are too expensive. Overpopulation forces families to live in tighter spaces, reducing comfort. Traffic accidents increase. My friend Sarah explained, crowded roads cause more collisions and injuries. Overpopulation creates a higher risk of accidents on roads, making travel more dangerous. Parks and gardens are crowded. My friend Robert said, it is hard to enjoy nature when parks are full of people. Overpopulation reduces the quality of public green spaces. Garbage disposal costs more. My friend Alice explained, the city spends more money to remove and manage trash because of the large population. Overpopulation increases municipal expenses. Healthcare waiting times grow. My friend Daniel said, it can take weeks to see a doctor in crowded hospitals. Overpopulation affects access to timely medical care. Public transport is uncomfortable. My friend Emily explained, standing in packed buses and trains is tiring every day. Overpopulation increases pressure on transport systems, making commuting stressful. Air pollution rises. My friend Jack said, smoke and dust from vehicles and factories make breathing difficult. Overpopulation contributes to environmental and health problems. Water pipelines struggle. My friend Lucy explained, water pressure is low in some areas because too many homes are connected. Overpopulation stresses infrastructure, making basic services unreliable. Noise levels affect concentration. My friend Peter said, children cannot focus on homework because streets are so loud. Overpopulation increases urban noise, affecting daily life and productivity. Food delivery is slower. My friend Rachel explained, orders take longer because there are too many customers at the same time. Public transportation stations are overcrowded. My friend Daniel lives in Mumbai. He said, platforms are full and people have to wait a long time for the next train. Overpopulation makes commuting stressful and increases waiting times for everyone. Garbage disposal becomes less efficient. My friend Emily lives in Lagos. She explained, garbage trucks cannot collect all the trash and some waste stays on the streets for days. Overpopulation creates pressure on sanitation services and affects public health. Water shortages affect schools. My friend Jack lives in Cairo. He said, sometimes students cannot wash their hands properly because water is not available all day. Overpopulation affects access to basic facilities in schools, reducing hygiene standards. Electricity costs rise. My friend Lucy lives in London. She explained, when everyone uses electricity at the same time, the cost of energy goes up for families. Overpopulation increases demand for electricity, affecting household budgets. Hospital waiting times are long. My friend Peter works in a hospital in Tokyo. He said, patients have to wait for hours to see a doctor because there are too many people. Overpopulation slows access to medical care and can affect health outcomes. Urban roads are congested. My friend Rachel lives in New York. She explained, it takes a long time to drive even short distances because streets are always crowded. Overpopulation increases travel time and daily stress for commuters. Public playgrounds are crowded. My friend Michael lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, children cannot play freely and parents have to supervise carefully. Overpopulation reduces safe spaces for children to play and exercise. Food stores run out of stock quickly. My friend Olivia lives in Manila. She explained, fresh fruits and vegetables disappear fast because many people buy them at the same time. Overpopulation increases demand, creating shortages and higher prices. Air quality decreases. My friend David lives in Jakarta. He said, smoke from cars and factories makes it hard to breathe, and sometimes people feel sick. Overpopulation contributes to pollution, affecting health and the environment. Public libraries have long waiting lists. My friend Anna lives in London. She explained, students have to wait for hours to get a desk or borrow books. Overpopulation limits access to educational resources and study spaces. Traffic accidents are more frequent. My friend Henry lives in Mumbai. He said, crowded streets cause collisions and minor accidents every day. Overpopulation increases risk on the roads, making travel less safe. schools struggle with supplies. My friend Laura lives in Tokyo. She explained, there are not enough books or materials for all students. Overpopulation affects the quality of education and resources for children. Street lighting is less effective. My friend Kevin lives in New York. He said, some areas are dark because the city cannot install enough lights for so many streets. Overpopulation makes it harder to maintain safe infrastructure in urban areas. Public transport maintenance is slower. My friend Sarah lives in Cairo. She explained, buses and trains are repaired less often because so many people are using them every day. Overpopulation increases wear and tear on vehicles and delays maintenance. Water pollution rises. My friend Robert lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, rivers and lakes get dirty faster because there is more waste from homes and factories. Overpopulation harms natural resources and makes water unsafe for daily use. Noise levels increase near markets. My friend Alice lives in Manila. She explained, crowded streets and busy shops make it hard to hear or concentrate. Overpopulation contributes to constant noise, affecting daily life. Housing is smaller and more expensive. My friend Daniel lives in London. He said, families often have to live in tiny apartments because larger homes are too expensive. Overpopulation increases demand for housing and reduces living space. Electricity supply becomes unreliable. My friend Emily lives in Tokyo. She explained, frequent blackouts happen because too many people use electricity at the same time. Overpopulation stresses energy systems, creating inconvenience for residents. Food delivery services are slower. My friend Jack lives in New York. He said, orders take longer because too many people are requesting deliveries at the same time. Overpopulation affects the efficiency of services that people rely on daily. Urban noise affects children's concentration. My friend Lucy lives in Cairo. She explained, children cannot focus on homework because streets are very noisy. Overpopulation increases stress and affects learning. Public bathrooms are often out of order. My friend Peter lives in Manila. He said, sometimes toilets are broken or dirty because so many people use them. Overpopulation creates sanitation problems in public facilities. Traffic enforcement becomes harder. My friend Rachel lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, police cannot monitor all streets, and some drivers break rules. Overpopulation increases traffic violations and the risk of accidents. Parks have less green space. My friend Michael lives in London. He said, with so many people, there is no room to walk or sit comfortably in parks. Overpopulation reduces the availability of outdoor recreational areas. Public transport is crowded at all times. My friend Olivia lives in Tokyo. She explained, even during off-peak hours, buses and trains are full. Overpopulation increases demand for transport, making commuting stressful. Healthcare supplies run out quickly. My friend David lives in Cairo. He said, pharmacies sometimes do not have basic medicines because so many people need them. Overpopulation affects the availability of essential healthcare products. Electricity usage affects work productivity. My friend Anna lives in New York. She explained, frequent power cuts make it hard to complete office work on time. Overpopulation increases demand for energy, which can affect economic productivity. Wastewater systems are overloaded. My friend Henry lives in Manila. He said, sewage pipes overflow because too many homes are connected at once. Overpopulation strains infrastructure and creates hygiene problems. School transportation is insufficient. My friend Laura lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, "School buses are full and children sometimes cannot get a seat." Overpopulation makes daily commuting for students more difficult. Food prices rise in crowded cities. My friend Kevin lives in Tokyo. He said, "Fresh vegetables and meat cost more because demand is higher than supply." Overpopulation affects affordability and access to food. Air pollution from vehicles increases. My friend Sarah lives in New York. She explained, "With more cars on the road, it is hard to breathe clean air." Overpopulation contributes to environmental degradation and health risks. Public transport queues are long. My friend Robert lives in Cairo. He said, "People wait for hours for buses because they are full." Overpopulation affects daily schedules and convenience. Healthcare facilities have less capacity. My friend Alice lives in Manila. She explained, "Some clinics cannot take new patients because they are overcrowded." Overpopulation reduces access to timely medical attention. Public health campaigns become harder to organize. My friend Daniel lives in Mumbai. He said, "When there are so many people, it is difficult to inform everyone about vaccinations and health advice." Overpopulation makes it challenging for governments and health authorities to reach all citizens effectively. Road repairs take longer. My friend Emily lives in Lagos. She explained, "With so many vehicles on the streets, fixing broken roads takes much more time." Overpopulation increases wear on roads and slows down maintenance work. Waste recycling is less efficient. My friend Jack lives in Cairo. He said, "Recycling centers are overloaded and cannot handle all the materials people throw away." Overpopulation reduces the efficiency of recycling systems and increases environmental waste. Public water tanks run out quickly. My friend Lucy lives in London. She explained, "Sometimes water tanks empty in the middle of the day because so many people use water at the same time." Overpopulation increases daily water consumption, making supply management more difficult. Public events become overcrowded. My friend Peter lives in Tokyo. He said, "Festivals and concerts are very crowded, and it is hard to enjoy the activities." Overpopulation affects the comfort and safety of people attending public gatherings. Street vendors face more competition. My friend Rachel lives in New York. She explained, "Markets are full of sellers, and it is difficult to attract customers." Overpopulation increases competition for businesses and reduces profits. Parking spaces are insufficient. My friend Michael lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, "It is very hard to find parking near homes or shops because so many cars are on the streets." Overpopulation increases the demand for limited parking areas. Medical staff work under stress. My friend Olivia lives in Manila. She explained, "Doctors and nurses have to treat many patients at the same time, and it is exhausting." Overpopulation increases pressure on healthcare workers, affecting their performance and well-being. Public swimming pools are overcrowded. My friend David lives in Cairo. He said, "It is hard to swim freely because too many people are using the pool at the same time." Overpopulation limits recreational activities and reduces personal space. Supermarkets run out of stock fast. My friend Anna lives in Tokyo. She explained, "Sometimes essential items are not available because many people buy them quickly. Overpopulation increases demand for products, creating shortages. Noise affects mental health. My friend Henry lives in New York. He said, "Constant traffic and crowded streets make people feel stressed and tired." Overpopulation increases stress levels due to environmental pressures. Delivery services are delayed. My friend Laura lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, parcels and food orders arrive late because delivery trucks are stuck in traffic. Overpopulation slows down services that people rely on every day. Schools have fewer teachers per student. My friend Kevin lives in London. He said, with many students in a classroom, it is hard for teachers to help everyone equally. Overpopulation reduces the quality of education and attention given to students. Electricity blackouts affect homes. My friend Sarah lives in Tokyo. She explained, sometimes the power goes off for several hours because too many people use electricity at the same time. Overpopulation increases demand on energy systems, causing inconvenience for residents. Street cleaning is less frequent. My friend Robert lives in Manila. He said, it takes longer to clean streets because so many people produce trash every day. Overpopulation increases the workload of municipal services. Traffic jams make people late. My friend Alice lives in Cairo. She explained, even short trips take a long time because streets are always crowded. Overpopulation slows daily routines and increases stress. Public gardens are crowded. My friend Daniel lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, it is hard to enjoy the flowers and trees because there are too many people around. Overpopulation reduces access to green spaces for relaxation and leisure. Wastewater systems overflow. My friend Emily lives in London. She explained, sewage pipes cannot handle so many homes, and sometimes streets flood. Overpopulation stresses infrastructure and creates health hazards. Public transport is uncomfortable. My friend Jack lives in Tokyo. He said, buses and trains are always packed, and people have to stand for long periods. Overpopulation increases the strain on public transportation systems. Food prices increase. My friend Lucy lives in New York. She explained, fresh fruits, vegetables, and meat are more expensive because more people need them. Overpopulation affects affordability and availability of food. Waterborne diseases increase. My friend Peter lives in Manila. He said, polluted water causes illness because there are too many people using the same water sources. Overpopulation increases health risks and strains medical services. Emergency response is slower. My friend Rachel lives in Cairo. She explained, fire trucks and ambulances take longer to reach crowded areas. Overpopulation reduces efficiency in emergency situations, putting lives at risk. Public libraries are full. My friend Michael lives in London. He said, it is hard to find a place to study or borrow books because so many students are using the library. Overpopulation limits access to educational resources. Childcare centers cannot admit all children. My friend Olivia lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, parents have to wait months before a place is available for their children. Overpopulation increases demand for childcare services, affecting family schedules. Housing construction cannot keep up. My friend David lives in Tokyo. He said, there are not enough houses for everyone, so families live in smaller apartments. Overpopulation increases housing shortages and reduces living space. Air pollution worsens. My friend Anna lives in Manila. She explained, smog and vehicle emissions make it hard to breathe on some days. Overpopulation contributes to environmental damage and health problems. Road maintenance is slower. My friend Henry lives in New York. He said, with more vehicles on the streets, repairs take longer and roads get worse faster. Overpopulation increases infrastructure wear and delays maintenance. Public restrooms are insufficient. My friend Laura lives in Cairo. She explained, People have to wait in long lines because there are not enough toilets. Overpopulation affects sanitation and comfort in public spaces. Recreational centers are full. My friend Kevin lives in Tokyo. He said, swimming pools, gyms, and sports halls are crowded and people cannot enjoy them fully. Overpopulation reduces access to leisure activities. Medical supply delivery is delayed. My friend Sarah lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, medicines take longer to reach hospitals and pharmacies because transportation is slow. Overpopulation affects efficiency in healthcare logistics. Urban streets are crowded with vehicles. My friend Robert lives in London. He said, traffic jams are common at all hours, making driving stressful. Overpopulation increases congestion and travel time. Public water supply is limited. My friend Alice lives in Manila. She explained, sometimes water runs out during the day because too many people use it at once. Overpopulation affects access to clean and reliable water. Street safety decreases. My friend Daniel lives in Cairo. He said, crowded areas make it harder for police to monitor traffic and prevent theft. Overpopulation increases risks in urban neighborhoods. Noise pollution affects work. My friend Emily lives in Tokyo. She explained, it is hard to concentrate at home or in offices because streets are noisy. Overpopulation creates environmental stress that impacts productivity. Public transport schedules are unreliable. My friend Jack lives in New York. He said, buses and trains are late because too many people are using them at the same time. Overpopulation affects reliability in daily commuting. Healthcare workers are overworked. My friend Lucy lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, doctors and nurses have long shifts because there are too many patients. Overpopulation in public clinics face long queues. My friend Daniel lives in Jakarta. He said, people sometimes wait for hours to get basic treatment because there are too many patients. Overpopulation reduces the ability of healthcare facilities to serve everyone quickly. Road traffic slows down deliveries. My friend Emily lives in New York. She explained, delivery trucks take much longer to reach stores because streets are always crowded. Overpopulation affects business efficiency in daily life. Urban air quality worsens. My friend Jack lives in Cairo. He said, smog and dust make it hard to breathe, especially for children and older people. Overpopulation increases pollution, which causes health problems. Parks have less space to play. My friend Lucy lives in London. She explained, children cannot run or play freely because so many people use the park at the same time. Overpopulation limits access to safe outdoor areas for families. Public transport is overcrowded during school hours. My friend Peter lives in Tokyo. He said, students have to stand in buses and trains because seats are full. Overpopulation increases stress for commuters and affects punctuality. Garbage accumulates faster than it can be collected. My friend Rachel lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, trash piles up on the streets because cleaning services cannot manage so much waste. Overpopulation increases environmental problems and affects city hygiene. Water tanks are emptied quickly. My friend Michael lives in Manila. He said, in some neighborhoods, water runs out by midday because many families are using it. Overpopulation stresses water supply systems. Noise makes resting difficult. My friend Olivia lives in New York. She explained, construction, traffic, and street noise make it hard to sleep or relax at home. Overpopulation increases mental stress and reduces comfort. Housing prices rise. My friend David lives in London. He said, "Rent is very high because more people want to live in the same area." Overpopulation increases competition for housing, affecting affordability. Electricity demand leads to frequent blackouts. My friend Anna lives in Tokyo. She explained, "Power sometimes goes off for hours because too many people are using electricity at the same time." Overpopulation stresses energy systems. Public toilets are insufficient. My friend Henry lives in Cairo. He said, "There are too few toilets and many are not clean or maintained." Overpopulation makes sanitation a major challenge in public areas. Traffic. Jams affect work hours. My friend Laura lives in Manila. She explained, "It takes a long time to reach the office because roads are crowded all day." Overpopulation increases commuting time and reduces productivity. Schools cannot accommodate all students. My friend Kevin lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, "Some children have to wait to join classes because classrooms are full." Overpopulation affects education access and learning opportunities. Medical supplies run out. My friend Sarah lives in London. She explained, "Pharmacies sometimes do not have common medicines because so many people need them." Overpopulation increases demand and can create shortages. Street lighting is limited. My friend Robert lives in Tokyo. He said, "Some areas are dark at night because there are too many streets to light properly." Overpopulation affects safety and security in urban areas. Food markets are crowded. My friend Alice lives in New York. She explained, "It is hard to shop quickly because too many people are buying the same products." Overpopulation increases competition for daily essentials. Public swimming pools are full. My friend Daniel lives in Cairo. He said, "Children and adults cannot enjoy swimming because there are too many visitors." Overpopulation limits recreational opportunities. Electricity outages affect businesses. My friend Emily lives in Manila. She explained, "Shops and offices cannot operate properly when the power goes off." Overpopulation increases demand for energy and affects economic activity. Wastewater systems overflow. My friend Jack lives in London. He said, "Sewage pipes cannot handle the volume, and sometimes streets flood." Overpopulation strains infrastructure and creates sanitation problems. Childcare services cannot meet demand. My friend Lucy lives in Tokyo. She explained, "Many families cannot find a spot in daycare centers for their children." Overpopulation affects families and daily routines. Roads deteriorate faster. My friend Peter lives in New York. He said, "Potholes and broken streets appear more quickly because of heavy traffic." Overpopulation increases infrastructure wear and tear. Public parks are noisy. My friend Rachel lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, "Crowded parks make it hard to enjoy nature or relax." Overpopulation reduces quality of life and leisure spaces. Healthcare facilities are overcrowded. My friend Michael lives in Manila. He said, "Patients sometimes have to wait in hallways because there are not enough rooms." Overpopulation stresses hospitals and clinics. Public transport maintenance is delayed. My friend Olivia lives in London. She explained, "Buses and trains break down often because they are overused." Overpopulation increases maintenance costs and affects reliability. Noise affects concentration. My friend David lives in Tokyo. He said, "Children and adults cannot focus on work or study because of traffic and street noise." Overpopulation reduces productivity and learning efficiency. Supermarkets run out of essentials. My friend Anna lives in New York. She explained, fresh food disappears quickly because so many people buy it at the same time. Overpopulation affects availability and affordability of food. Urban streets are crowded. My friend Henry lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, walking or driving becomes stressful because of the number of people and vehicles. Overpopulation slows daily life and increases stress. Water pollution increases. My friend Laura lives in Manila. She explained, rivers and lakes are contaminated because of so many households and factories. Overpopulation affects public health and environmental safety. Emergency services are delayed. My friend Kevin lives in London. He said, fire trucks and ambulances take longer to reach people in crowded areas. Overpopulation reduces efficiency of emergency responses. Public libraries are crowded. My friend Sarah lives in Tokyo. She explained, it is hard to find a desk or borrow books because too many people use the library. Overpopulation affects access to education and learning. Food delivery takes longer. My friend Robert lives in New York. He said, orders arrive late because delivery drivers are stuck in traffic. Overpopulation affects convenience and efficiency of services. Air pollution worsens health. My friend Alice lives in Manila. She explained, respiratory problems are more common because of smoke from vehicles and factories. Overpopulation affects public health through environmental hazards. Parks are overused. My friend Daniel lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, grass and playgrounds are damaged because too many people use them every day. Overpopulation reduces the quality of recreational spaces. Public restrooms are dirty. My friend Emily lives in Tokyo. She explained, cleaning staff cannot keep up with usage, and toilets become unhygienic. Overpopulation affects sanitation and comfort in public areas. Electricity outages affect schools. My friend Jack lives in London. He said lessons are sometimes interrupted because the power goes off. Overpopulation stresses energy systems and affects education. Street cleaning is delayed. My friend Lucy lives in Manila. She explained, garbage remains on streets longer because so many people produce waste daily. Overpopulation increases pressure on municipal services. Traffic accidents increase. Traffic. My friend Peter lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, more cars and crowded roads lead to more collisions and injuries. Overpopulation increases risks on urban streets. Public transportation fares rise. My friend Rachel lives in New York. She explained, prices increase because services are crowded and maintenance costs are higher. Overpopulation affects affordability of commuting. Water supply is limited. My friend Michael lives in Tokyo. He said, some homes get very little water because too many people are using the same network. Overpopulation stresses water infrastructure. Public. Parks are smaller. My friend Olivia lives in London. She explained, green spaces shrink because developers build more houses to meet demand. Overpopulation reduces access to nature. Urban areas struggle to provide parking spaces. My friend Daniel lives in Manila. He said, finding a parking spot near home or shops is very difficult because many people own cars. Overpopulation increases demand for limited parking and makes daily life stressful. Local clinics cannot handle emergencies efficiently. My friend Emily lives in Cairo. She explained, when many people come to the clinic at the same time, urgent cases have to wait. Overpopulation reduces the ability of healthcare facilities to respond quickly. Street vendors have less space to work. My friend Jack lives in London. He said, "Markets are crowded and it is hard for sellers to attract customers." Overpopulation increases competition and reduces opportunities for small businesses. Public buses are overcrowded. My friend Lucy lives in New York. She explained, "People stand for long periods because there are not enough seats." Overpopulation stresses public transportation and makes commuting uncomfortable. Water pipes break frequently. My friend Peter lives in Tokyo. He said, "Old pipelines cannot handle so many households, and leaks happen often." Overpopulation increases wear on water infrastructure and causes disruptions. Air pollution causes health problems. My friend Rachel lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, "Respiratory issues are more common because there are too many vehicles and factories." Overpopulation increases environmental hazards that affect public health. Public playgrounds are overcrowded. My friend Michael lives in Manila. He said, "Children cannot play freely because so many families are using the space." Overpopulation reduces access to safe outdoor areas for children. Grocery stores run out of essential items quickly. My friend Olivia lives in London. She explained, "Vegetables, rice, and milk disappear fast because so many people buy them." Overpopulation increases demand for food and reduces availability. Electricity outages are common. My friend David lives in Tokyo. He said, "Power sometimes goes off in the evening because everyone uses electricity at the same time." Overpopulation stresses energy systems and affects daily life. Urban streets become dirty. My friend Anna lives in New York. She explained, "Garbage accumulates on sidewalks because municipal workers cannot keep up with waste collection." Overpopulation increases sanitation challenges in cities. Noise from traffic makes people tired. My friend Henry lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, "It is hard to rest or concentrate because streets are always noisy." Overpopulation increases stress and affects mental health. Schools have too many students. My friend Laura lives in Manila. She explained, "Some classrooms have 50 or more students, and teachers cannot help everyone." Overpopulation reduces the quality of education and individual attention. Public swimming pools are full. My friend Kevin lives in London. He said, "It is difficult to swim freely because so many people use the pool at the same time." Overpopulation reduces access to recreational facilities. Healthcare workers are overworked. My friend Sarah lives in Tokyo. She explained, "Doctors and nurses work long hours because hospitals are crowded." Overpopulation increases pressure on staff and affects the quality of care. Wastewater systems overflow. My friend Robert lives in New York. He said, "Pipes cannot handle all the water from homes and streets sometimes flood." Overpopulation stresses sanitation infrastructure and affects health. Childcare centers are insufficient. My friend Alice lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, "Many parents cannot find a spot for their children and they have to wait months." Overpopulation reduces availability of childcare services. Urban roads deteriorate faster. My friend Daniel lives in Manila. He said, "Heavy traffic damages streets quickly and repairs take longer." Overpopulation increases infrastructure wear and slows maintenance. Public libraries have long waiting times. My friend Emily lives in London. She explained, "Students wait hours to find a quiet place or borrow books." Overpopulation limits access to educational resources. Street lighting is insufficient. My friend Jack lives in Tokyo. He said, Many streets are dark at night because there are too many areas to cover. Overpopulation affects safety and security in urban neighborhoods. Traffic. Accidents increase. My friend Lucy lives in New York. She explained, crowded streets make collisions more frequent and minor injuries are common. Overpopulation increases risks on urban roads. Markets are crowded. My friend Peter lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, it is difficult to shop comfortably because so many people are buying the same items. Overpopulation reduces convenience for everyday tasks. Water supply is limited. My friend Rachel lives in Manila. She explained, some homes get little water because pipelines cannot handle the demand. Overpopulation stresses water systems and affects daily life. Electricity demand affects work. My friend Michael lives in London. He said, frequent blackouts make it hard for shops and offices to operate properly. Overpopulation increases energy stress and reduces productivity. Parks are overused. My friend Olivia lives in Tokyo. She explained, grass is damaged and playgrounds are crowded because so many people use them daily. Overpopulation reduces quality and enjoyment of recreational areas. Public toilets are dirty or broken. My friend David lives in New York. He said, cleaning staff cannot keep up and some toilets become unhygienic. Overpopulation affects sanitation and public comfort. Supermarkets face shortages. My friend Anna lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, essential products disappear quickly because many people buy them at the same time. Overpopulation increases competition for daily necessities. Public transportation fares rise. My friend Henry lives in Manila. He said, prices increase because buses and trains are crowded and maintenance costs are higher. Overpopulation affects commuting affordability. Street safety decreases. My friend Laura lives in London. She explained, crowded streets make it harder for police to prevent theft and accidents. Overpopulation increases risk and makes neighborhoods less safe. Healthcare access is limited. My friend Kevin lives in Tokyo. He said, some patients have to wait days or weeks for appointments because hospitals are full. Overpopulation reduces timely access to medical care. Urban air becomes hotter. My friend Sarah lives in New York. She explained, crowded cities with many buildings and cars feel hotter in the summer. Overpopulation contributes to the heat island. Affecting comfort and health. Delivery services slow down. My friend Robert lives in Rio de Janeiro. He said, packages and food orders arrive late because streets are congested. Overpopulation reduces efficiency in daily services. Noise pollution affects children. My friend Alice lives in Manila. She explained, it is hard for children to study at home because traffic and construction make noise all day. Overpopulation increases stress and affects learning. Urban streets deteriorate quickly. My friend Daniel lives in London. He said, potholes and cracks appear faster because of heavy traffic. Overpopulation increases infrastructure maintenance needs. Waterborne illnesses increase. My friend Emily lives in Tokyo. She explained, contaminated. Water causes sickness because more people use the same water sources. Overpopulation increases health risks. Food prices rise in busy cities. My friend Jack lives in New York. He said, fresh produce costs more because demand is higher than supply. Overpopulation affects affordability and access to nutrition. Parks are crowded with people. My friend Lucy lives in Rio de Janeiro. She explained, It is difficult to exercise or relax because so many people use the park at the same time. Overpopulation reduces leisure opportunities. Electricity systems are unstable. My friend Peter lives in Manila. He said, blackouts happen frequently when everyone uses electricity at the same time. Overpopulation increases energy stress on cities.